This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Sunday, January 20th, 2019. The title of this rant is, An Un-American President? Who knew? Everyone. Yes, he really is Putin's puppet. So a lot of stuff is drowning out what went on last week. The two things that were important is that the FBI has a counterintelligence investigation into our president as being possibly a witting or an unwitting asset to the Russians. That investigation must continue. But the other thing that I want to bring up today was the Washington Post, which brought up that there were 5 instances that our president met with Putin, our adversary, and we have 5 separate times over the last 2 years, and we have absolutely no idea of what went on. I'll just bring up a couple of them. In Helsinki, he met alone, Putin, no one else, for 2 hours, got on the podium and spouted Russian propaganda and denied what our intelligence agencies know and he had been told about. I believe that it was in Hamburg. He took the notes of the interpreter and said, don't tell anyone what was said. And of course, there were 3 other instances where he met with Putin. Now, why is that so vitally important? Because our president is supposed to represent the best interests of the United States. And it's obvious that he is not. And we need our intelligence agencies to know what was said in those meetings so that we can gear our policy and everything else around all of that. And of course, this president makes up his policy as he goes along, but it's still so vitally important that we know exactly, what was going on in those things. Now, let's just remember who knew what was said in those meetings. Putin and all the Russians. So number one, Putin or anyone else there could have been wired. And number 2, just like our interpreters, our linguistics, whoever was there, they take verbatim stenographic notes. They know exactly what was going on. So in the 30 years that this president has gone back and forth to Russia to try and make deals, and they never gave him a deal, they just strung him along because they knew he was a stooge. And he's tried to run for president a couple of times. I think it was 92, 96, 2000, 2012, a number of different times. So he has an idea of what he wants. And they have fed him a lot of stuff. And remember, he went in the Oval Office after he fired Comey and gave out vital, top secret information to them in reference to stuff that we had been given by the Israelis. So is he an un-American president? This stuff must be investigated. We must have a complete rendering, a complete investigation, whether it be the Southern District of New York, the Mueller, the Eastern District of Virginia, the Washington, D.C. District, and of course the state of New York, which is investigating him for money laundering, tax evasion, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, this guy is not representing the best interests of the United States to a foreign adversary who has hijacked our election and is doing everything possible that he can to disrupt good governance in the United States. So he's doing everything to try and quash all of the investigations that are going on around him. And this is not how America should be working. We must investigate. The Senate, the House, they need to investigate. They need to use their subpoena power. We need to get to the bottom of this, because I think at the bottom of this guy has not been a loyal person. He is a purveyor of evil. He is an instigator of hate. He is an un-American president, and we need to get rid of him.